Dimanche and are ready to belt out that anthem. Let's join our commentators as Alfie Thomas leads out Wales. Will Greenwood, and first of all, good afternoon to Bob Simmons.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Jim, on this very special day. Come at the hour, come at the man, Gareth Thomas, Centurion. Following on the legendary French centre, Philippe Sella. Of course, David Campesi, Jason Leonard, George Gregan, Fabian Pelous, Stephen Larkham and Alessandro Troncon. Followed the man they call Alfie. And he's been a great credit to the game, Will.
Sensational ambassador down the years for Wales. 1995, his first cap, a hat-trick against Japan. And he's been almost an ever-present since then. Wears his heart on his sleeve, a wonderful man.
We're waiting then, before we get underway, for again the national anthems of Wales and Fiji.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be abstaining for the national anthems of Fiji and Wales, recorded by the Republican Guard and the French Army Crown.
So the scene is set then for the man they call Alfie and the two teams to get this game underway. Both teams guaranteed, of course, of a place in the next World Cup finals, having finished in the top three. Wales makes 7 changes with Mark Jones, Tom Shanklin, Dwayne Peel, as well as Centurion Gareth Thomas restored to the back division. The most notable change up front with recall of Ian Evans in the second row, making his first start since December after recovering from shoulder problems. It's time then for the Fijian Thimby. Goes back to 1939 when the team were about to tour New Zealand. It worked pretty well on that tour. They were the only country that's visited New Zealand for a full tour and returned unbeaten. So, what are the portents, I wonder, for their side today? Well, they bring back 11 first-choice players. They rested for the game against Australia. So it's the team that actually beat Canada in Cardiff. Nicky Little, once of Pontypridd, is their general and most experienced player. 62 caps and a record 623 points. They have pace and vitality in abundance. Do they have the staying power? The next 80 minutes will tell.
So much of home nation rugby has been described as stodgy recently. Wales versus Fiji, I would expect to be anything but. Both sides like to play a glorious afternoon, unlike Paris last night. And yet, there's an undercurrent of anxiety and tension, just as there were with the English fans last night. The Welsh fans expect, but they're not guaranteed.
Stuart Dickinson of Australia, taking charge of his 3rd game in the World Cup, becoming the most experienced Australian referee in World Cup history. Gareth Thomas injured his ribs, of course, in that game against Australia. Big question mark will be, can it stand up to some pretty solid tackling by the Fijians? Stephen Jones, who's given up the captaincy to Thomas for his very special day today, gets the game underway. Beautiful day for rugby. And Colin Jarvis, for one, has asked Wales to make sure they get a good start, which they haven't in the previous games.
Brilliant take there. Rauluni and Little really give a sort of Northern Hemisphere discipline to half-back play, and then around them they just create chaos with big runners and headbutting the ball forward as the big hooker does there. You just do not know what to expect with these Fijians. It might have been a planned move. 6
official games between the two countries. Wales have won all 6. But also in 1964 we saw first sight of the Fijians when they came over for an unofficial test, and for only second time in history scored 6 tries against Wales. Stephen Jones getting away, Shankling in support. This must be a try, surely. Mark Jones left. Oh, held up short. That was a great opportunity for Wales. Jarvis plays scrum half. There are men over on this side now. Thomas, Horsman, Shane Williams. Just tackled short. Should have scored.
Tom Shankling had to give it earlier. Such a clever player in the Wales midfield. Him and Thomas are the guys who'll give ballast to this Welsh backline against the giant Fijian midfield. The ball came wide again, and then just a fraction slow. Great step, but Rambini just does enough. But what a chance. You asked Wales to start well. Scott Quinnell talked about it. It's so important that they do. They've given away too much possession early on against the top teams, and Fiji, with maximum points after 2 games, have to be viewed with that respect.
Wales for a moment getting their numbers wrong. Colin Jarvis has joined the fray now. Is it Sunia Koto into the line-out? Beautiful take. Samisi Naevo. Extra line-out option for Fiji. Sese Rauluni, who is the skipper, and it's warmed up there.
Horseman never shy of a bit of action, never takes a backward step. And the Fijians will feel that the Wales team haven't performed as well. They've been roughed up when they've been allowed to play and sit back, and Jones has been allowed to control things. They look good. If you get in their face, they haven't reacted as well as perhaps they should have done in recent games against the top sides.
This was a good break by Stephen Jones. It should have led for something, shouldn't it?
Yeah, great break. Fed Shankling. Shankling should have given it to Jones early. That's why you have flyers on the wing, to finish things off.
Stephen Jones again in a position of having to tidy up. Wales with nearly everybody on that left-hand side. Stuart Dickinson playing an advantage. Goes short to Jones. Support from Peel. Now Martin Williams, ever going backwards. Referee gives the penalty. Martin Williams, quick thinking. It's Hook. Setting you up again for Peel. Chosen today in preference to Mike Phillips.
Koto, the hooker, straight in over the top. Colin Jarvis did well, got straight over the top of Hook, secured the ball. Koto, with his yellow boots and his early headbutting of the ball antics, hasn't had a good start to this game. Interesting that Martin Williams wanted to lift the tempo. That's the way he likes to play. Turn down an immediate 3 points, and then seconds later, Stephen Jones has a chance to get the scoreboard ticking.
There's the guilty man again. So Stephen Jones transformed the Welsh performance here when he came on as a replacement against Canada in the opening game. Drills it in well. Wales at last have taken the lead in a World Cup game, 3 points to 0.
Indeed, it'll give the team a great deal of confidence. They've come back to Nantes where they beat Canada in the second half, and they've got Jones on the field and Thomas to start with. You feel comfortable at grounds. If you know you've played well there before, you tend to do the same again, and with Jones and Thomas in the back line, they'll be feeling confident about this game.
Restarting, Nicky Little, not just of Pontypridd, but of Saracens, of Sale. Extensive experience in New Zealand as well, where he was born. As the Welsh platform does well, and Shankling just about gets that left footer into touch.
Yeah, not his best start to a game, Tom Shanklin. They use his left foot to a bit of variety. Stephen Jones and Hook's right foot, and they go to Shanklin his left regularly. Got big boot on him, but under pressure there. Showed he's not as natural a kicker as the inside centre and fly half.
So Sonia Koto has the opportunity to make amends. Rwanga, Naevo, Leawere at the front, wearing 4. Again, he's moved up to the front and he's done well, Naevo. Good possession, Little immediately opens it up. Rambeni, such a strong man in centre field. If he manages to hang on to the ball at that pace, you're in trouble. But it's a turnover immediately. Alex Popham, good physical player in the back row. Gareth Thomas kicking for a field position down inside the Fijian 22. Nevua goes backwards, he's in trouble.
He is in trouble and gave Shane an opportunity just to rough him up a little bit after the whistle had went. Remind him he's there. A good kick from Gareth Thomas, steps into the fly half position. Those are the errors that are costing Fiji so dear at the moment. You know both sides will like to play with tempo. It's the team that can have most precision and accuracy that will win this game. And at this precise moment in time, Wales winning that by a street.
First throw into the line-out for Matthew Rees. Spent most of yesterday in bed with the cold, but has recovered well. Ball into Evans, knocked over. Not deliberately, says the referee.
Nothing there, lost forward.
In fact, Stuart Dickinson says the ball went forward from a Fijian hand.
Good competitive line-out. Wales will be disappointed they lost control of that. They'll have fancied setting themselves up for a drive. They won't want the Fijian forwards roaming around the pack. They'll want to tie them into the set piece with scrums and line-outs. But here's Shane Williams has departed over towards a full-back berth. You can see Shanklin and Thomas looking as though they're midfield runners. The Welsh pack may fancy a dig early on, a second shove to see how the Fijian pack holds up against their strength. And if it does, let's see some magic from the Welsh three-quarters.
The Fijian pack, as we saw, heavier than the Welsh, but how are they on their technique? We shall see. Not good enough, says referee Dickinson, because they've committed the offence of taking the front row down. So it'll be penalty to Wales again. Graham Dews, the Kiwi-born man, on the loose head side.
And both Martin Williams and Stephen Jones just had a look, see what they should do, turn to their captain, Gareth Thomas. Gareth Thomas pointed immediately at the post. Correct decision. 3 becomes 6, 6 becomes 9. Apply the pressure, turn the screw.
Horsman, the man on this side, big scrummager.
And the reason he's been picked, the Jones brothers, much better in the loose, much better with ball in hand. But Jenkins has decided he needs a huge physical effort from the front row.
Stephen Jones second only to Neil Jenkins in points for Wales. Doesn't quite make it. Ball's been knocked forward, I think, from the rebound. Scrum to Fiji.
Yeah, hit the post. Stephen Jones turned, felt he nailed the kick, just hit the post. Tom Shanklin doing what good centres do, running up the middle, had an opportunity to pick it up, knocked it on and then gets smashed for his effort from Rambeni, who allowed Staniforth about 35 seconds on the field last week before he dispatched him as his opposite man.
So a test again for the Fijian scrum in a very important position, going right up in the front row. Koto. Referee does not penalise them this time though. He'll go down again.
Big scrum, and if it comes out, can have a good look. The Welsh boys patting each other on the backsides there. Feel they've got this Fijian scrum on toast at the moment, and they want the referee to acknowledge that.
Get over this way, straighten it up, bring the foot up, get the foot up, thank you. I'll get him there.
Stuart Dickinson just wants a quiet word before letting the 2 front rows go down. Rauluni feeds, under pressure, pick up at number 8, Koyamai Mbole, had to do it.
Stay back,
So Nicky Little steps inside to play scrum half. No, in fact it was Rambeni, strong man, as I say, sometimes doesn't take the ball with him.
But a giant slab of Fijian meat.
Yes, certainly. Sun proving a problem there for Mark Jones. Lucky with the bounce, letting it bounce twice. So Wales committed, a lot of numbers in there. Stephen Jones immediately goes to Gareth Thomas. Little overlap outside him, but he couldn't get the ball away. Again, it was that man Rambeni. He is penalised once more, though. Peel takes it quickly. Good support from Popham. Brought down once more by Rambeni, but makes it available.
Options.
Now there are men over on the far side. Surely they should have kept that in hand. Chance lost.
And De La Salle, so cool. He knew the Welsh players were coming, but he allowed the ball to bounce, which he had to. He couldn't get there to catch it on the full, and just coasted underneath it as it crossed the try line by about an inch, and then dotted it down. But there were opportunities, first coming left to right with Gareth Thomas, then going right to left. At the moment, the Fijian indiscipline is very, very poor, and at the same time, their ability to reorganise in defence is Fiji of 5 years ago, not Fiji of 2007.
Kickoff goes straight to Thomas. Brings in Hook alongside him. Good distance on the kick, but an easy take for Masese Rauluni. Brother Jacob has also played in that position for Fiji. Now Little just gets it away from the challenge by Martin Williams. If that ball breaks for Sereme Bai, there was a chance, but they're coming back.
Yeah, it's a good decision. They were offside in the midfield. There was Ian Evans out on the far side in the outside centre slot. They felt the Fijian ball was slow, in which case there's no need. You can see the top of your screen there. There's no need to be offside there. Nicky Little was always kicking that ball. A silly penalty. The crowd weren't happy. They felt the Fijians regathered it and were in under the sticks with umpire, but there had been a knock-on by the big Fijian number 6, Naivo, which meant there couldn't be any advantage.
Beautiful kick to the far touchline by Nicky Little. Sets up the first really good attacking position for Fiji within the Welsh 22. They have some line-out force here. We've seen Naivo, 6 already, take 2 big takes in the line-out. Koto once again throws in. Guerra this time, wearing 7, providing the option. Ball's lost though. That'll be a scrum to Wales.
Yeah, Nicky Little furious. It was a great take in the line-up by Ongera, the roaming number 7. They set themselves up, and again the ball just popped out. They're giving themselves no chance at the moment to develop any sort of patterns of play. If the Fijians have a pattern of play, apart from 15 men running around enjoying the ball in their hands.
Popham controlling the ball at number 8. Peel is caught. Danger for Wales. The forwards able to protect the ball. And Stephen Jones gets good power, good length on his kick.
And there's a little touch from the Fijian man trying to charge down, which means it'll be the Welsh line-out. Another piece of fortune. They saw it early with Mark Jones, allowing it to bounce twice, straight into his hands. So at the moment, fortune favouring Wales, and yet the scoreboard not as dominant as perhaps they would have liked it.
IRB President Sid Miller, we saw, looking on with great interest to this game.
I think there's 4 Sid Millers at this World Cup. He's at every game. Him and Jonah Lomu, they've definitely got some body doubles.
Untidy ball at the line-out, finally ends up in Fijian hands, but there'd been a knock-on again.
Firm refereeing, telling him what he wants, communicating exactly what's going on, and that's exactly what the players like. Not talking to them like they're schoolboys, like certain English referees occasionally do.
I wonder who you could be referring to. Osman, Rees and Jenkins in the front row for Wales. Against Graham Dews, New Zealand father, mother from the islands. Born actually though in Fiji, that's how he qualified. Again, the transgression is by Fiji, their technique certainly letting them down. Rambeni again coming flying in on Hook.
Hook did well there. He just saw him at the last second, dipped and twisted.
There's a danger.
Whilst it looked huge, he just backed out of it. Fiji win the ball back. Good turnover, and there's the big powerhouse Rambeni again.
Bit of crossing surely in front of him. Ratuvo into the line. Now first run for Neveua. Great chance then for Fiji. The tackling has to be good. Ratuvo, the fullback, is again in support. Rambeni asking big questions, the Leicester man of the Welsh defence. Koyama Imbole, the 8 also. And if they get the position, there's a great opportunity. And it's the man from Gloucester, Akapusi Nera, who gets the first try of the game.
A brilliant passage of play. Hook had done well initially to avoid the big smash, but then gets turned over at the breakdown. The ball comes back to Rambeni. I do not think it was crossing. Yes, he did run in front of him, but it did not affect it. It has to affect the defensive system. Wonderful interplay then between forwards and backs. The giant Neveua, who scored such a good try against Australia. The ball gets recycled, and then Ongera. Is he a 7? Is he a 14? It doesn't matter. He's quick, he's powerful, he loves the ball in his hand, and he scores tries. That's a sensational try.
Great delight then of the Fijian supporters in the crowd. Nicky Little successfully converts 7 points to 3 to Fiji. Well, what about that score then, Scott?
Yeah, a bit frustrating. Wales had a huge opportunity in the first 10 minutes or so to go and put some pressure on Fiji, which they did. They had possession, they had territory, they had Mark Jones going in the left-hand corner, they had Shane Williams going in the right-hand corner, who had a little kick over the top, and then Fiji get one possession, one area of play in the Welsh half, and they do what Fiji do best. They go and make you pay for the chances that you've missed.
Kick-off a little long, taken by Fiji successfully. So, questions now then of the Welsh team, whether they can bounce back immediately from this setback.
Well, we talked about the body doubles of Jonah Loma and Sid Miller. Well, this is a double of last night with England. And Tonga, again, Tonga took the lead through a brilliant passage of play, and it's how you react to pressure. It's how you then go about rebuilding your belief and composure in the platform from which to play in. A big test for Wales in the next 5 minutes.
Ian Evans, key part of that platform, winning the ball. Poor pass though by Peel. Look forward though from a Fijian hand.
Yeah, I think that's a poor decision by the referee. We talk about advantage. The advantage was there. Rauluni had it, he set off up the field, he made 15 yards, he had a ball inside, and he then gave it away. I think what Gareth Jenkins will be disappointed about is the back Peel worked well, and then Dwayne Peel, a poor pass. Popham was marked, and he passed straight to the Fijian man, and those are the sort of mistakes you have to cut out when you're rebuilding your game when you've gone behind.
Lots of problems in that front row. So Stuart Dickinson wants to sort it out pretty quickly. Pressure once again on the Fijian scrum, but they get the ball away. And again, it's to Rambeni, the strong man in midfield, and the support there too. Ndelasau getting away. Chip over the top. He's got the pace. Can he get the bounce?
I don't believe it. He scored it.
Stuart Dickinson just checking. In fact, he's going to go upstairs, I think, for a check.
They're so comfortable with the ball in hand. Nick Little, long floated pass to Rambeni, who's just holding people off. He's a one-man wrecking machine at the moment. He holds people off, unloads, the ball finds it back because it was tapped back by a Welsh player. Ndelasau carries on, chips, the bounce this time doesn't work for Jones. A sensational take. Paul Saki-esque. Try, absolute dead set try, and suddenly, never mind one score behind.
Second try of the competition for Vilimomi Ndelasau from Clement Auvergne.
Look at that piece of skill. One-handed, left-handed, grabs it out of the air, regathers, brings it down.
Thank you.
Carlo Damasco from Italy. The TV official confirms the facts. Second try for Fiji in the first 19 minutes of this game.
Well, after the last try, a good restart, but then Dwayne Peel's error. Look at Rambeni here. Ball falls to him. There's a Welsh tap. That's the thing. The Welsh players are appealing for a knock-on, but no, he's tapped backwards. Brilliant piece of skilled chip. The bounce eludes Jones.
The big man from Clement Auvergne.
Piece of luck. I thought it was a good offload. It just popped out the back
Popped
door.
out, yep. And the man from Clement Auvergne.
But that's how they like it. They like it loose. They like the ball bobbling around. They're very, very good at that.
Nicky Little's conversion attempts. Just going wide. From the kickoff, now the Fijians leading 12-3, and again with the confidence of having the ball in hand. They will love this position. Little. Popham waits. Needs to straighten, needs support.
Look who's making this.
Not to get too isolated.
Look who's making a tackle there, 60 metres upfield. That's a second row. That was Leaweri making that tackle. The enthusiasm that those tries have given, the confidence it's given to Fiji. They're all over Wales at the moment. Wales need to get hold of the ball, play some territory. I mean, look at the commitment, the numbers, the white shirts there before the Welsh shirts. It's not quite panic stations, but you're about DEFCON 3 at the moment if you're Wales.
It's quite a mirror image in one sense of the game against Canada.
Very much so. The Canadians took the game to them. They picked up the interception. They went the length. Wales seriously rattled.
Nicky Little decides he fancies an attempt at this range. Say the nephew of the great All Black Walter.
Is he really? Oh,
Born in
what
New
a
Zealand.
player, Walter Little.
Yeah. Has that distinctive little stab with the ball. It's successful. This is a tremendous opening 20 minutes for the Fijians. Very much in the driving seat after the first period of play, leading Wales by 15 points to 3.
And at the moment, each point is like a huge hammer into the Welsh coffin. At 15-3, Wales need to put pressure on Fiji from this restart. They need to try and force Little to kick. The set piece from Wales has been strong in the scrum. They seem to have won the line out at will. We'll ignore that young gentleman. Complete idiot.
It's being dispatched quickly enough, thankfully, to the touchline. Stephen Jones goes for distance again, down into the 22. Rwanga, such a big man, the 5 loves again, like the rest of them, to have the ball in his hands. Rauloni organising things with Nicky Little. Huge long ball for the corner flagging number 8.
He's got a kick down here. Big spaces bottom right. Oh,
Thomas has sliced the ball quite badly. It's out on the full.
He saw the space, execution terrible, and that's what's letting Wales down at the moment. You know, Fiji took the restart, Little smashed it long. A little bit of pressure on him, but not enough. He smashed it long down the 5-metre channel. Popham worked it to Thomas, and the slice gives Fiji another attacking platform.
Worrying moments for the Welsh management team under tremendous pressure. Koto into the line out again, so many options for him. Rwanga 5 again, helping to ensure tidy ball. Rauloni has a look to see what his options are. Little, short ball again. It's time to Seremaya and Bai. And they're there. Look at that power, look at that body position. Taking that ball on. That is terrific play by the forwards. Popham told he can't go in there. Little again goes wide. Koyamayin ball at the 8. Strong runner. Probing and probing and probing their way up to the Welsh 22, and another penalty right in front of the post for Fiji.
Dynamism, physicality from numbers 1 to 15. Nicky Little at fly-half just must be loving it. He doesn't need to kick it. Everywhere he looks, he's got a runner offering himself. And every single runner is winning the contact, winning the breakdown, and they're there in numbers. Gareth Thomas being told his team, if that continues, a yellow card, and a yellow card at this stage. My word, this could be 18-3. That's 3 scores behind Wales will become after this kick goes over. Total and utter domination by Fiji at the moment. Wales are not in this game. That man Rambeni is in the middle of everything.
So it's a fairly straightforward shot, this, for Nicky Little. 30 metres or so further forward than the last one. Look at this style of his now. Short run. Then just a little stab at the ball. So then, 18 points to 3. Still early minutes in this game, but Squad now. How are Wales going to come back from here?
Hi Bob, yeah, not the start that Wales wanted. We talked about this before the game, that Wales need to get off to a good start, put Fiji under pressure. It's been the exact opposite. Fiji came out and with all guns blazing after that first try. Second try very quickly after that, and Will talked earlier about keeping the scoreboard ticking over. 3 turns into 6, 6 turns into 9. Now that's what Wales have got to cope with, and as we see Fiji work up the field again, and unfortunately, Wales at the moment not in a great position.
It comes from Bai, just waits. Ngera again, little ball back inside. And De La Salle looking to add to his try. Well, the Welsh defence opened up, as we say, like the Red Sea. Little to Rambeni again in the middle of the field. No numbers this time for Fiji.
But that's what's beating him at the moment. Rambeni was surrounded by 3 forwards, still won the contact, and still ended up being quick ball.
Mbai again on the switch ball. Wales have to make sure their tackles are good. It's Mbai! Saramai Mbai! 2 tries already, Fiji. Can they get a third? They can! Pele Leawere, the second row forwards. As far as the Fijians are concerned, it gets better and better and better.
Total catastrophe for Wales. Ngera starts it from his own 22, straight through the middle. The Welsh sea parted. Then Fiji turned into the Harlem Globetrotters, almost messed it up, but regathered possession, stayed in control. There's Ngera from the restart, straight through the middle. Look at the pace of the man. He looked left, he looked right. They should have gone earlier to De La Salle. They almost messed it up here. You can see De La Salle on the outside, desperate for it, and then over the top, a little alley-oop, goes to ground, but they stay in control. Rambeni comes back, sets it up. Then the giant second row. Martin Williams had no chance. 23-3, potentially 25-3. You have to now ask, is it even possible for Wales to come back from this?
His kicking has been pretty assured already in this first half. Oh, look at that one. Bisecting the posts. That's a low-key reaction from the Fijian bench. But inside, they have to be absolutely delighted with this start.
Well, Wales can't get hold of the ball, and when they do get hold of the ball, they get smashed backwards in the tackle. Physicality, dynamism that every single home nation has lacked in this tournament is being showed again. We are simply being bullied.
In 6 full internationals and 2 others, non-cap versions, Fiji have failed to register 1 victory over Wales.
They should have won in the Millennium Stadium 2 years ago, shouldn't they? Robinson's kick made it 11-10 to get them out of jail.
At the end, that's right. So Wales playing already catch-up rugby.
Right, calm down, relax, take the points.
James Hook chasing the game, it seemed, but getting the penalty for offside. So the Stephen Jones has the chance.
This is what Scotland did against Italy when they conceded 3 tries. What they did was they started chasing the try too early. You take the points, you bang in front. Stop going for the miracle play. That's a bad call.
Crouch, touch.
But then again, if they score, it's like, no, 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 yes, Wales.
Popham controls it at number 8. Peel is there. On the switches, Hook. Thomas, good angles. Peel, Williams. They've gone straight across field.
A lovely, pretty move that went absolutely nowhere. They've nicked that from Warrington Rugby League, a brilliant move. But needs to go to the line more, needs to be more confrontational.
Gethin Jenkins takes the ball on. Now Peel to Hook. Looking to take a man out, but little. Too strong for him. Williams goes dancing. Now Wales must make sure they ensure the loose ball. Put the men over on that side if the passing can be good enough. Jones, Williams' passing is. Ian Evans. Fiji in time though to get men over. But Jones again to Peel. Jones ducks out of the high tackle, but the referee is playing an advantage to Wales. Jarvis. Referee will have to bring them back for the penalty, and this time surely they must go for the points. Will
you think so? The referee just asking to pause because Stephen Jones has hurt his neck. Nicky Little was guilty of 2 high tackles. The first one more chest on, but the second one definitely hit him in the chest, slipped up. The touch judge getting involved. Might mention the first one as well.
Yeah, I never flagged the first one, but it was up with okay.
Kelvin Deeker from New Zealand on this side, aiding Stuart Dickinson there.
Telling him there was 2 in a row, both from Little. He didn't flag the first, but he certainly flagged the second.
Just keep them down. But that was the second one. There was another one over here, okay? So let's keep them down. Yeah, it's not
just a warning, in fact, from the referee.
Time back on. Penalty. Time back on.
That was the chest-on one. A bit like Nili Latu on Lewis Moody last night. Again, going for the points.
Well, it failed on the first occasion, but the gap is 22 points. That was the second of the high challenges. So Wales, Matthew Rees into the line-outs. Martin Williams, Ian Evans, number 4, back in the ranks today and going for the try line. Just short, now Jarvis. Good strong tackling by Fiji. Peel can get it away again for Wales. Oh, what a dreadful pass. Chance gone.
Yeah, poor pass. Dwayne Peel, normally such a good technician. You thought Colin Jarvis would get over there, crashed over in 2003 against England from a similar position. But just imagine the self-belief that that will give Fiji when they feel that Wales have given absolutely everything and they've held them out. Surely now they might kick to touch, but you just never know with this Fijians.
So the scrum is going down deep in the Fijian 22. The Welshman in the crowd absolutely stunned, I'm sure, by this. Looking to put pressure on the scrum. That is big pressure. Big pressure. Wales will get the put in this time.
That's a huge scrum, and that's just the sort of fillip they need to build them, to get the Welsh crowd involved. They're sat in stunned silence at the moment. They must repeat it now. Bury the Fijians in the scrum.
Ian Evans, Alan Wynne-Jones, the 2 youngsters in the second row for Wales as Peel feeds. Popham at number 8 with the pickup. Little solid challenge by the outside half, but it's Shanklin picking up and going for Wales. If they're to have any chance at all in this game, surely they must score from here. Jarvis in there, and Popham aiding Evans as well. It's on the deck, it's back. Offside decision. Referee is playing an advantage though to Wales. It was Horsman.
That's what they're all snatching. Stephen Jones is furious. There were 5 Welshmen on the right-hand side. 5 Welshmen waiting to walk in. And each one is trying to do it on their own. I can't imagine that midfield scrum was all about Alex Popham just picking up and running in, and then Shanklin picking up and running in. You have to maintain your shape.
The decision by Wales again is to go for the scrum.
Time out. Time out. Time out.
They simply have to come away with points. That's the gamble they've taken. They have to come away with a
Same for you now. I've had
seven-pointer.
a word to them. Twice they've been on attack. Fellows are offside in front of the offside line. Okay.
Stuart Dickinson just wanting a word with Fiji after Wales in turn about players creeping offside. It's Chris Horsman who came so close to getting that first Welsh try with the charge a few moments ago, who needs some treatment. There's no question about it, Will. They have to score from here to have any chance, surely.
You have to think that Fiji will score at least another 10 points in the rest of this game. Just the way they play, the amount of ball they'll get, the way they're so exciting and finding gaps when they do have the ball. The Wales have to think about picking up 33 more points. That starts with 7 before half-time.
Okay.
The band adding to the atmosphere that the Welsh fans are certainly not happy, not celebrating at all at the moment. Big scrum for Wales, big scrum for Fiji. Popham has moved over one position. Charges into Little. Now Wales need the quick ball. It's Alan Wyn-Jones this time, with Evans behind him, 5, looking to slip the ball. It's Shanklin, 13, who's in the middle of it all as well. Martin Williams. 2 lightweights to get over from that position. And it's here again for Peel. Wyn-Jones. Rambenny, the big man, just holding him up temporarily. Peel. Wales just a metre short of the line. Ball held, not going to come out of there. Set scrum once more.
And it shouldn't come out of this next scrum. Popham should not pick up. They should just drive them over. Horseman and co are doing very, but that's the difference in this World Cup. That's an outside centre smashing a second row. Could you imagine this tournament so far, say Matthew Tate smashing Chris Jack? It's just the physicality levels of the South Sea, the Southern Hemisphere team. The Argentine performance against France in the first game. We've just been left behind in this tournament.
And all that physical challenge is taking its toll for the moment on Alex Popham. Chosen in the number 8 position by Wales for his physicality. Michael Owen, who is the replacement back row forward available. A totally different type of player. Jarvis, of course, as well. A man of great experience in that position. Jim Shanklin, in the meantime, needs some attention to his contact lenses.
Jim was his dad.
Sorry, you're right. Thanks very much, Will.
I think he played in the 1970s, didn't he?
He did indeed, yes.
He's aged well.
Crouch, touch, pause, engage.
7 minutes of rugby to play before half-time. The Welsh scrum goes on. Popham can't control it though, but they're coming back again for the penalty. Surely they have to go for the scrum again.
This time, definitely, because they're under the post, they're 5 metres away, and the first thing in Stuart Dickinson's mind, if this goes down again, will be a penalty try. A lovely piece of gamesmanship now by the Fijian number 8. He's doing exactly the right thing. Slowing it down, giving the Fijian front row a chance to inhale oxygen.
I'll make the decision.
Gareth Thomas, skipper called in by Stuart Dickinson. Just to reiterate to his forwards, there's one man refereeing this game, and that is the man from Australia.
Steady, straight, don't shear off. Time back on.
Koya Mayumbole, the number 8, having done the clever thing and got the treatment to slow things down. The scrum is ready to go down once more.
Crouch, touch, pause, engage.
There's a big, big blind side over here too, if necessary.
Has to be a try.
Try awarded. Alex Popham gets the touchdown. Is this the start of the Welsh comeback?
And with it, a glimmer of hope for Wales. They took their time. I feel they should have taken the points 10 minutes ago. They've been camped in the Fijian 22 for that length of time. Been inaccurate at times, but eventually the Welsh power is beginning to tell. Popham does it well. He controls it. Good footwork. Not an easy skill to do, and that's good. The Fijians are on roller skates at this stage. The number 8 scores it, but numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5 for Wales take full credit for that. And they need more of that. They need to play some territory. They need more scrums. The last thing they want is a game of sevens, because at this stage in time, the way the Fijians will play, they will just cut them to shreds. This might just bring all the Fijian forwards closer to the ruck.
James Hook taking over the kicking duties. Pretty good day for goal kicking. A little bit of wind, not a great deal. The points could prove to be very, very important indeed. His aim is sure. 7 points for Wales then. There's a glimmer of hope there for the supporters.
Strong scrum. All front rows will be enjoying this. Look at the power, they're keeping it straight through the middle. That's the Fijian second row trying to stop Popham at the back, because they've just been completely splintered by the power of the Welsh front five. But Wales must now make this count. They must now score next. They cannot allow Fiji possession, territory or points.
And that score surely must come before half-time. 15 points, the difference at the moment. Stephen Jones sensibly goes for the field position. Ball given away by Retuvo. Then comes through, takes Gareth Thomas. No problem with it, the referee. Mayu Mbole takes it up. This time Wales born to roll away as Little can launch. Rambeni on the far side again. This huge powerhouse, and again good retention. Then it's Ngera, the 7. They'll love him at Kingsholm next season. Mayu Mbole, the number 8 then in turn. Little. Good tackle by Popham.
Good tackle, coming forward, meeting him, not allowing the Fijians to run onto it. England were guilty of that last night, allowing the Tongans to come to them. They must go and meet them. And that's what they can force the Fijians to. They have no kicking game.
Delisau giving it away to his opposite number. Jones. Stephen Jones to Hook. That's wild. Martin Williams has to clean it up.
There was an opportunity there. The ball should have gone earlier. Bad mistake from the Welsh 10 and 12. But Martin Williams tidies up as he so often does.
Travis also. Again, that's loose though. Ian Evans has to go down. Feeds it to Jones. Again, there's some space over here. Shane Williams can't get away though. Good support from Alfie Gareth Thomas.
Oh, that's a bad. That's a yellow card.
Matthew Rees going on. Referee has seen it, was playing an advantage. I think it was Leawere. And Popham, I think, looks to be in big trouble. Williams in the middle of the field, Jones the pickup. And the referee has to bring them back for a penalty, and surely for more.
Horrible blindside hit. Popham had passed the ball away, the kidneys were exposed. Just a nasty cheap shot. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Listen to Stuart Dickinson.
There is no point running over and shaking his hand, my friend. He will not accept it. Looks like a gentlemanly thing to do, but it was a nasty tackle. They are very lucky, Fiji, and that was just the sort of thing that really could have given Wales a boost. But again, too many times Wales have gone too far, a yard too far with the ball, and opportunities have been lost. Just because you're 25 points to 10 down doesn't mean the ball can still do the work for you. You don't have to take them on in an arm wrestle.
Ball goes to Martin Williams again at the back. It's Popham, recovered, gets hands on it. Matthew Rees. Again, driven across field by the Fijian tackling. Now Peel goes straight. Real battle for the ball in there. Gethin Jenkins won for Wales. working overtime.
They need to get to deck here, otherwise this will be used. Oh my lord!
Stephen Jones bouncing unceremoniously off his man as he went in there.
Has he raised the boot on Guerra?
Okay, time off. Time off.
Oh, he's not as bad as it looked at first. Not as bad as it looked. Just blocking his own kidneys. Saw Stephen Jones coming. It looked as though he'd kicked him at first, but I think
Again, the consultation between the officials.
Coming into the side of the moor.
Yep.
Number 7, White, raised his leg.
Yep.
And connected with him. I'm not too sure where he's connected with him, but
Okay.
he's raised his leg.
All right.
He's put his knee up.
Okay. Well, obviously a penalty. I've told him there is no more chances, so I'm prepared to yellow card it. So
7
white. Okay, just where the mark is there. Thank you.
Decision has
7,
been taken.
please.
It's going to be a yellow card at the end of this first half for Akapusi and Guerra.
7. It's dangerous play. You've raised the knee up there. Okay, I said no more.
good decision. Good decision. He's probably borne the brunt of the second row, Leovari, who hit Popham earlier, but now's the time to take points. You're in added time almost. You get to within 2 scores. You're bang in front, and you can start the first 10 minutes of the second half against 14 Fijian men. That is a good decision from Gareth Thomas.
Gareth Jenkins, the Welsh coach, leaving his seat immediately to go to the dressing room to prepare what he's going to say to his charges at half-time. It's a pretty straight shot. People at this ground may not agree that this could be a very, very important decision indeed in the Welsh cause if they're to come back in the second half. That is dragged away poorly. The half has ended poorly for Wales then, after dragging themselves some way back into it after this incredible onslaught by the Fijians. 25 points to 10. Fiji lead at the interval. We'll be back for the second half shortly after a short break. First of all, the news from your region.
Well, can they get out of it, Wales?
Yeah, they need to, again, start well. Particularly poor first half. It's been a trait of the competition so far. They need to come out, they need to play rugby, they need to play with confidence, keep their discipline, and I'm sure when Gareth Jenkins' famous half-time team talks will come into play.
They're underway. Back to Will Greenwood and Bob Simmons.
Thanks very much, Jim. No changes for the moment anyway, on either side, more significantly on the Welsh side. Do you expect it soon? Maybe you will?
Potentially see Phillips and Goff entering the fray. 40 minutes from rugby oblivion here, Wales. There might be no need for panic, but they must be driven by the fear. The next 40 minutes could define their rugby careers.
Fiji good off the top ball at the line out again. Koya Mayu Mbole, such a big man at number 8. Beautiful hands there too. But now Martin Williams doing what he does best, getting the turnover. Jarvis to Peel. It's very tight out here, so Shanklin goes down the touchline. Thomas up quickly. This time Fiji looking to control the ball, but do they now? Nathan Jenkins for one on the one side, looking to add his power to it.
Great start, great turnover, and then Tom Shanklin catches it in the field of play and steps in. A clever footballer. You put 1 foot in the field of play, 1 foot in touch, and that would have been a Welsh throw. There must be dynamism, there must be ferocity, there must be just sheer aggression from everything Wales do in the next 40 minutes.
Again, the aggression we saw there came from Fiji with that challenge on Alex Popham, that the referee was happy with it. Skipper Rauluni. Jones goes up in the air, which means he can't be tackled. Now then, Wales must spread it. Thomas in the first receiver position.
Oh, poor pass. It lined hook up for Rambeni.
Yeah.
Early ball, Wales.
And there's a breakdown. Here come Fiji once more, looking to capitalise on it.
Very clever.
Little kickers, huge amount of space there.
Oh. Very clever, just a yard too deep, but that all came from Wales. They had a huge overlap going left to right. Gareth Thomas just dawdled on it and then delivered a high floater. And Hook must have sensed Rambeni coming. He did as well as he could to get out of it, but couldn't keep hold of the ball, turned over. And a kick a yard shorter from Nicky Little, and Wales would have been in all sorts of problems.
Rambeni, 13, acting as the jumper and acting successfully too. Naiovo leaps it in the end. Again, for the moment, the Welsh tackling has been firm enough. But that again is Fiji's ball.
Stay back.
Little kick over the top by Delasau. So Peel has the pace to get out of trouble that time. Can't find touch though. Neivua
Look at this rocket coming back at you.
loves to run with ball in hand, charging in there from the left wing. Oh, 15 stone of him. And Delasau on the other side, 16 stone 1 of powerhouse. Delasau. Now that Leawere, forward who can run like a back. But there's a superb turnover by Martin Williams, of course.
I think he finished it off. I think credit to Colin Chavez. He was the first man in there.
Lovely pass out to Shane Williams. Now then, Shane Williams has a chance for glory. Shane Williams, what a fantastic score. Brings himself level with Ian Evans' record, Welsh total at World Cup finals with his cent. His 35th try in 51 games. What a time to get it.
Sheer brilliance. Chavez and Williams combined in the turnover. The ball was moved left. A great pass from Peel. Shanklin times it well right in front of Shane Williams. Invites him onto it. Watch this step. That was more of an arc. There's the step. And the ability to step and yet not lose pace. Save the dive for when you're in front, son. But as a try, absolutely brilliant. Dummies to kick, that sets up Neivua a little bit, so he arcs round him, steps, pace. And under the post as well, 25-17, still 5 minutes with Fiji with 14 men. Next score. Ball does the work.
Conversion from Stephen Jones is successful. Williams and Jones, have come up with 7 points at a desperately important time for Wales. The margin now is down to 8. We have a huge game on our hands.
And for the first time in the game, the Fijians slow to walk onto their post, slow to walk to the next restart. They've given everything in those first 14, couldn't believe the lead surely at half-time. But have they blown a gasket?
Chavez with typical power, becoming today the most capped Welsh forward of all time. Rambeni hasn't got the venom this time. Support comes in from Gareth Thomas. Rambeni is penalised again, I think. Peel takes it quickly, wanting to keep up the momentum. Dwayne Peel, now then, can he find the supports? No, the interception is by Sunya Koto. Not forward though, scrum to Wales, I think.
Yeah, there was the high tackle, perhaps a little harsh on that instance. But Dwayne Peel always quick, taps, goes toward the opportunities.
Okay, you're not going to help matters.
In and out, step, had Mark Jones, could have used him earlier, but had the pace to go himself. And I think just as he then delivers the ball over the top, he's just watching it to see if it lands in a Welsh hand and gets absolutely cleaned up.
Stuart Dickinson calling for discipline from the Fijian players and asking the captain, Mosese Rauroni, to get that message through after the injury on his opposite number. Mark Davis, former Welsh flanker, now looking after the physiotherapy side for Wales. Just checking on Dwayne Peel.
And the crowd are back in. Listen to them.
First change for Wales then sees the introduction of Rhys Thomas at hooker in place of Matthew Rhys. Rhys Thomas, who celebrated with his first international try against Japan in Cardiff in the last game.
And he had a good game, he had a very good game, and hence not afraid to throw him in at 25-17 down. Big scrum, big platform, starting to find gaps, starting to bounce off the tackles now. As you rightly say, the Fijians, not quite the venom that they had in the first half, where everything stuck.
Combination in the back row, Popham and Jarvis. It's available from Popham again to Peel. Jones, good pass, hook, back inside, Mark Jones, it's a try on his 100th appearance for the skipper. Gareth Thomas celebrates with the Cardiff City fans Ayatollah on the top of his head. What a great moment on his 100th cap.
Bob, I've died and gone to rugby heaven. Fiji brilliant in the first half. Look at the backs move, the decoy run, the ball back inside, Nicky Little slow, Mark Jones, Gareth Thomas, support lines, depth, precision, hook back inside, the inside cover slow. Shane Williams could have scored himself. Brilliantly executed, strong scrum, 25-22. Who would have believed it 25 minutes ago?
Try number 40 for Gareth Thomas, extending his lead at the top of the Welsh try-scoring charts. And Stephen Jones from way out on the touchline. Unlucky. But the game is very much alive for Alfie and his men.
Just one thing on, we're watching the first try, just there, brilliant ball from Hook. Just one question, just before half-time, you've got Stephen Jones, one of the world's great goal kickers, and you're bang in front. You hand the ball to James Hook. I was intrigued, but it was almost like passing the drop goal duties to Ollie Barkley last night, just before half-time. When you've got a guy of that experience and that calibre, and the pressure is on, go to your main men.
It's difficult to catch your breath in Stade Le Bourgeois here in Nantes. Quarter-final place at stake for both these countries. Fiji looking for their first ever victory over Wales. Stephen Jones goes deep.
And look at the Welsh defensive line now. 10 of them in the front line, but boys drop back waiting to receive it. Don't be afraid to play territory. It never even crossed Shane Williams' mind, did it?
Wriggles away from the challenges, the tackles of Fiji. Thomas, again the kick into space, it's going to stay alive for Hook. Brilliant piece of goalkeeping.
Peter Schmeichel dived at his feet, made himself big, got the block, no penalty, took the ball. Very, very brave from Raul Looney, the captain.
This is where it all started from. Fiji, in the meantime, are back to 15 men again. Ngera returns to the field.
It couldn't come quick enough for them. The standout performer with Rambeni in the first half.
Peel in space! Went the wrong way! Had Ian Evans outside him, but went right. But there's still a chance here for Wales. There are men over on the far side. Hook, just the pass is necessary. Mark Jones with the try. Incredibly, Wales, Gareth Jenkins' men are in the lead.
I'm stunned, absolutely stunned. A training ground move, the sort of move they were trying in the first half that was finding a brick wall. They went to the back of the line out, straight through the middle. Dwayne Peel, well planned. Robin McBride had the option on the inside, perhaps covered. Popham does well. Rambeni's come from nowhere to smash him. That's why they were then short of numbers, because the outside centres come all the way over to make the big tackle on the number 8. And then wonderful distribution from Hook. And a guy, Mark Jones, who really was a spectator in the first half. is now creating and scoring tries for Wales.
Celebrating his 12th international try, lost 2 years with bad knee injuries before fighting his way back.
Wales could win by 50 here.
Stephen Jones landed too. What an incredible game. 29-25 to Wales. Who would have believed it?
The little show of the ball from Hooker, he almost didn't need it, but still the skills, the celebration, the Welsh fans back on their feet, they've been resuscitated.
Coming onto the field as a replacement, Cirelli and Bobo, former Biarritz winger. And now will play his rugby in the 2nd division with Metro Racing, but they could have had a bigger star. Thou is back in France at this moment, is playing in a friendly for Agen. Ian Evans. Alun Jones could be badly hurt there.
Yeah, blow the whistle, referee. A man lands on his head. There's got to be a bit of empathy.
Out of there, 16.
Stephen Jones will put it out so they can get attention.
Stay down, have a breather. No, it's playing on. The referee is sure.
He's okay, getting to his feet, Alun Jones. In the meantime, little out to Delasau. Seremi by once of Crosskeys and Caphilly. Little. The Welsh tacklers are coming up. They were offside on Guerra.
What a seesaw of a game. You thought Fiji were out and they'd come out. I just don't quite understand the Welsh kicking game. They're either missing touch or only just making it when they've got such a strong Welsh line out. They know they can attack the Fijians. I don't think they're green seats here, whatever they are, grey seats. You hit the grey seats, you find the 4th row of the stand. You don't give anything for Fiji to come back at you with. They're out on their feet, you nick their ball, you turn them over at the set piece.
Worrying moments for Fiji on the ground, for Akapusi and Guerra. For the brunt of that tackle by Gethin Jenkins, which has left him prone. In the meantime, Mickey Little. Little stab again. Works successfully. Back to within 1 point then of the Welsh total. Fiji. 29 points to 28, Wales lead.
Staggering 15 minutes of play, just like the first half when Wales were hit by a Fijian onslaught. Fiji have come out and cannot believe that it's the same Welsh team that they played in the first half. Must have been one of the great Rorke's drift speeches from Gareth Jenkins, imploring his players to play with some passion and some pride, which was totally absent in the first half.
Change in the front row then for Fiji. And Rwanga, wearing 5, collects the ball on that occasion. Now it's Fiji's turn to look to regroup. This is impressive. Just what they needed. Get some discipline back into their play.
Just like the Wales team in the first, they just need to get hold of the ball. One team totally dominated the first half with the ball, and the same has been the reverse in the second half.
Little in centre field. Tackle on Ratuvoy, but Fiji still have the possession. Ratuvo then goes to play scrum half himself. Little probing. Landing on the right side though.
You wouldn't want Ratuvu running on the outside shoulder of Stephen Jones too many times in the second half. Just need to work that out defensively. Who's going to mark who? They've got serious pace, and here's this man and Guerra again.
Alun Jones able to bring down Naevo ultimately. By
offside, and good decision. They're directly in line with us. In fact, he's done them from the side. He could have done them on 2 counts. Fiji just show how dangerous they can be. They looked out on their feet, and yet you give them the ball. They're a different team. It looks like Mike Phillips is going to be introduced. Dwayne Peel not had the sort of impact he'd like, and Phillips, Jenkins will be hoping he plays like he did against Fiji.
Funny enough, I think
Not
Peel's had
Fiji,
more
my
impact.
apologies, against
Yeah.
Japan.
I think, in fact, Peel has had more impact in this second period than he did in the whole of the first half.
Exactly, his distribution, his break through the middle of the line-out, which ended up with the try. His distribution has been much better, he's been quick to the breakdown, he's released the ball. But he did take one heck of a clatter, and perhaps he's not quite right in feeling it. And if you've got someone of the calibre of Phillips on the bench, don't wait till 79 minutes to get him on. I'll be intrigued if the Nicky Little stab can go 45 into a wind.
Nicky Little composes himself for the score that could put Fiji back in front again. Well short. And Hook successfully clears the Welsh lines to take the sting out a little of the Fijian game once more.
That's why you're always a little bit worried about Wales. They played so well in the first period of the second half, and yet Nick Little's kick bounces 5 metres from the line. Someone's got to catch that, make it safe, give nothing. And here's the introduction of the big man Mike Phillips, a powerful man, taller than Byron Kelleher, but plays in a very similar fashion. Aggressive, confrontational, and not afraid to back himself. But there is space in this Fijian defence now, so he mustn't be afraid to use the ball, use his three quarters.
First of all, though, Wales have to tackle to get the ball from Fiji. Phillips was right in the middle of all that. Jarvis in on the tackle on the Welsh side. Again, Fiji looking to build it up quietly.
Rhys Thomas isolated here by a hooker, does very well. Rambeni, sorry, was on the hooker and he did well, got low, ignored the ball, dropped his man.
Wales looking to turn Koya Mayu and ball at the number 8, but possession again from Bobo. A searing pace, the man. Jarvis looking to turn him, but couldn't do so. Delasau finally manages to get forward movement. Still going forward, the numbers they have are on this side of the field.
And plenty of them.
Oh, they should have come out. Wales desperately short of numbers there. Rambeni finally to Little. Mbobo. Latuvo to Delasau. Could there be another amazing twist in this game?
Straight in over the top, Wales, it killed it.
Potentially a penalty.
Never mind, potentially a yellow card.
Support your own weight.
Lucky, he killed it. But they just don't know any other way, do they? They came this short side, initially the wrong option with Rambeni cutting back, then the ball comes out the back door. Latuvo only set off one way, lovely inside ball. Look at the step, get the ball back in 2 hands potentially, but he just likes to beat men, beat people, score wonder tries. And suddenly Wales back on the back foot.
As we saw, Mark Jones fortunate to escape without getting a yellow card there. As it is, the kick for Nicky Little well within his range. Strikes it right between the posts once more. Fiji in the lead.
His little strokes from 20 go a lot further than when he tries to belt it from 45 and just looks so comfortable from that range. Wales know now that potentially they concede penalties 40 metres out, but anything 30 will be 3 points for Fiji. And they are back in front in this seesaw game.
Ngera again getting the ball. And Koyamai Immobile, such a big, powerful man. This time, Little kicks for field position. Thomas underneath it. Not many options. Gets the stroke of luck.
Does well, beats Bombo on his inside. Puts the kick down, and a chance now for the Welsh second rows and the Welsh back rows to get the lifters up in the air.
took on the responsibility as he had to.
Committed to the tackle. Fair call, no penalty.
Defensive ball at the line out for Fiji. Get it back to Rawaluni. Alwyn Jones told repeatedly by the referee to move back.
Good clearance kick. Little just taking opportunity the last 2 times to kick, to clear. Not quite the quantity of runners making themselves available as they tire. His time will come when he wants to try and pick off the Welsh defence. But Popham and Jarvis head out into the midfield. Will we see them as a battering ram to launch from, or will they be decoys to try and release Thomas and co?
Ian Evans wins the ball, but it wasn't straight.
Oh.
Criminal waste of an opportunity. Wales are warming up. Another replacement in Michael Owen. Ian Goff also. And Duncan Jones. So we could have a mass change up front here.
Been huge physical effort from Wales to get back into this game. Been done them for a whip wheel.
Pulling it round, yeah. Koyamayu Mbole again on the charge. Rawaluni to Little. Mbai going for the gap. Good support from Rambeni. Terrific play once more by the Fijian backs. Into the big man, Leawere, already on the try sheet. Ratuvo, the fullback.
That's the problem with the Jones-Hook combination. Very skillful, but if you put pace on an outside drift for Mbai, it stretches Hook and stretches Stephen Jones. That gets you away from the cover on the inside and allows you to make easy yards, and that's what's happened there. It just stretches the whole Welsh defence because they don't have the pace to cover the Flyers.
Mike Phillips waiting to feed the scrum then. Just to mention that should we finish in a draw here in Nantes, then Wales would go through. Both sides equal on points, but Wales have the superior points difference, a huge difference. Popham picks up and goes against Ngera. Hook this time, slicing it, but the penalty award.
Good call from the touch judge. Rambeni just tucked in behind the referee, thought he couldn't see him, but forgot the extra pairs of eyes he has on the touchline, who called him offside, trying to put pressure on Hook. There was no need. Hook really was only ever going to find the 22 at best, and then it would be Fiji ball, and now an opportunity to clear and win their own line out. What have you got in the tank, boys? What have the Fijians and the Welsh boys got left? How much fitness work have they done? How many times have they turned the pizza down and the carver and the fizzy lager in Bridgend on a Sunday night? This is when it counts. This is when your mates get cross with you for not coming out as a beer. You're a professional rugby player for these moments in time.
Martin Williams from the line out, and Phillips can get it away to Jones. Jarvis in midfield, coming from deep, looks to offload. Just about gets away with it. Phillips creating some space with the aid of Jones. Now Mark Jones, kick over the top, has to do it all himself if Wales are to get anything here.
Well played, Wales, well played. Mike Phillips came back up the short side. Injection of pace, got round the Fijians. Mark Jones as well, and the cavalry arrive.
Duncan Jones, 17. Ian Goff, 18. Michael Owen, 19. Now the men being brought to the aid of the party. Alex Popham, try scorer for Wales at the beginning of that great fight back. One to leave the field. So, fresh legs aplenty. 3 in the Welsh pack. The ball is 1-2 at the line-out, and there's a great chance here to roll it on. Goff 18, right in the middle of it all immediately. Ball just going down short of the line. Wales just not able to get that ball down.
Oh, you just thought they had to score. Fiji, just the sort of defence they just haven't been able to do the South Sea Islands before. They've normally been killed in the driving mauls. This World Cup, they've shown some nous, some cunning. They managed to drop it. They defended with their lives. Gives little a chance to clear. It's just tit for tat with the penalties at the moment.
Fiji about to make one more change as well, with the vastly experienced Norman Lingeri coming on into midfield. And leaving it to the Welsh relief, I would have thought, is Seru Rambeni.
They will be glad to see the back of him. I think Ratubu's gone into the centre, Langeri's gone to fullback. Rambeni has had one of the standout games. That's been the impressive thing in this tournament. You've had Gogodze in Georgia, you've had Latu and Ngira from Fiji, guys who might make the World Cup 15 from the teams you just thought would have no impact on the tournament whatsoever.
Looney just organising his forwards to maybe take this ball on a little further. Rwanga in the first instance. The ball not going to appear from there. Stuart Dickinson decides. Scrum to Fiji.
You can just see the pace as the game has just dropped. This is the calm before the storm. This is before we hit the 70-minute mark and the team behind or the team in front just sucks in the oxygen, sucks in the air for one last effort. The width has just gone from the game from a moment. Impossible to keep the sort of levels of endeavour up for a full 80 minutes. People beginning to go down, suck it in, get the fluids in. Who's got it in him for one last effort? Focus, concentrate.
The officials also needing to take on plenty of water on this occasion.
Quiet word of advice from Dickinson, having a word with Jones and Hook. Don't let me call you offside, don't let me keep having to tell you, do it yourself, I won't warn you again. Then a little chat with Colin Jarvis, one of the most relaxed men in world rugby, but ultra competitive.
Time on again as Fiji looks to feed this set scrum.
Stand up then if you're not right.
Whatever the result, we have watched one of Rugby World Cup's greatest games this afternoon.
No question about it.
Crouch, touch, pause, engage.
We still have another episode, I'm sure, in this amazing story.
South Africa must be delighted, because whoever comes out of this will be absolutely 15 rounds, toe-to-toe, exhausted.
South Africa will wrap up their early campaign against the United States down in Montpellier tomorrow.
Wales have got him in the scrum here. Fiji need to get this up and away, otherwise they'll win the penalty, and with that, potentially not the 3 points, but the ability to launch Wales deep into Fiji territory and another go at that driving maul. Fiji almost have to do a 7 scrum here. Get it in, get it away.
Crouch, touch, pause, engage.
Scrum goes down once more. Free kick awarded
And
against Fiji.
Rauluni, knowing that the scrum was in so much trouble, fed it into his own second row.
Quickly taken then. It's Michael Owen in the first instance. A free kick, so Wales would not have benefited by sending it down for a line-out because they wouldn't have had the throw-in. So they decided to keep it alive. Phillips again. Jones in the middle of the field. Just isolated a little though.
Good turnover, brilliant turnover.
Fantastic turnover by Fiji. Leawere takes it on in the first instance. This time it's turned into a ruck. Ndravu.
They've got numbers on the left,
17,
Fiji.
yeah. Need to get it out quickly. It's that man Ngera again. Mbobo. He can motor.
They can't afford to give a penalty away for offside, Wales. They're in little range at the moment. Nicky Little range, that is.
Yes. Mayumbole starts it again over this right-hand side. Graham Dews.
Great to see Dews and Jenkins out in the open spaces, clattering into each other. Two prop forwards who've scrummaged all day. Still
Bombo appealing again in the middle of the field. Sorry, Will.
Still finding it in their energy systems to run around. Gethin Jenkins, there he is.
And De La Salle almost getting clear. Koto in support, the hooker. Rauluni can get it away again to Little. Floating ball. Almost the chance of an interception. But now it's Fiji. Mbai.
Oh!
Does he get in? What an incredible run.
He thinks he scored it.
Seremai Mbai, he might well have scored it.
How long's his right arm?
That is quite incredible.
No. A fraction. He did so well to get there. He coasts around Duncan Jones. On your 100th cap, you may have scored numerous tries for Wales, but that, he would swap them all for this tackle from Gareth Thomas. His right leg touches the floor.
There.
It's a fair finish.
The fans in the crowd, apart from the Welsh ones, are desperate for this try to be awarded.
The ball has gone in, player's gone in touch, line out 5, red throw.
Good call, Will.
Thank you.
What a tackle, Gareth Thomas.
No.
Not allowed to take that quickly. So the pressure will remain on Wales.
If you thought the nerves were bad before the game, everyone is up and down, off their feet.
Wales still trail by 2 points as Michael Owen brings the ball away. Phillips to Jones. Good deep kick to get the position. Norman Lingeri couldn't get anywhere near that one.
That's a fantastic kick, under pressure from his own 22, 55 metres down the field. Ungera, the open side's down again, looks like he's got cramp. And he had a 10-minute breather.
Exactly. Just shows the effort that he's put into the rest of this game. Fantastic effort by Fiji. Koto, ready again then to throw into the line-outs.
Colin Jarvis reacts well. They could have been done for numbers in the line-out. Hadn't spotted Ungera down. He spots it late. Don't want to give soft free kicks away at this stage.
Again, that's comfortable ball for Mosese Rauluni. Puts up the tester. Shane Williams knocks it on. And Rhys Thomas sensibly doesn't react by picking it up. It would have been an offside. And De La Salle dancing, getting support from Lingeri. Managing to present the ball well again, Fiji. Interception! It's Martin Williams! The flanker can go all the way! Incredible! Quite incredible!
Fiji had done so well. They turned the ball over from the up and under. The ball came back. The Welsh defence didn't sit back. They kept coming forward. And how many times has that man either saved Wales or been man of the match in big games, big tournaments? Nicky Little, for a second, just pondered. If you were going to have a gripe at him, you'd say get closer to the post. It's a 3-point ball game now. Just make that conversion a little bit easier. Make Fiji score a try.
6th try of his World Cup career for Martin Williams, and who's to say it's not the most important of all.
So good at the breakdown, so good at the line-up, but such a wonderful reader of the game. Saw Little, saw him lining up, took the gamble, came that the Welsh team came as a line, so there was no dogleg.
So, can Stephen Jones add the extra 2 points to stretch the Welsh lead to 5 points? For the third time in this game, Wales find the woodwork.
He's hitting the post. What were you saying about points difference? If it's a draw, Wales will go through?
If it's a draw, Wales go through.
So Fiji look like having to score a try, but you certainly wouldn't put it beyond them. They've created enough chances. Gareth Thomas and Martin Williams, two legends of Welsh rugby over the past 10 years. One with a try-saving tackle, the other with an interception. The big names, the big men have come to the party just when it mattered.
Nicky Little gets good height on that ball. Back to him again. Tends to take men on. Not many options on this side. Giorton Dravo, wearing 17, the replacement prop, does a good job. Mbai in centre field again. Delisau. Such an incisive runner and coming over from the right wing. Koyamayu Mbole then, the number 8 forward. Fiji are not dead and buried by any means. Mbombo can't get through. Little, he'll start it again. Bai, there's a gap there. Coming in at tremendous pace, Fiji. Ratuvo just couldn't keep his feet. Otherwise he would have been clean in at the posts. It's Wales' turn to defend in this quite extraordinary game. Hughes, the Kiwi. It's here again. No great numbers. So Ratuva has to take it on. They've got an advantage on this side of the field in numbers. Mbombo in the first instance takes it on. Wales having to defend for their lives. In front by just 3 points.
They're exhausted, both sets of players.
Leawere wearing 4. One of the first half try scorers for Fiji takes it on. Now Delisau again. Slipping the ball. Mbombo. Delisau. On the line, just short in fact. Just short. Martin Williams. Hero at both ends of the field.
He's going upstairs.
Wow.
Delisau has just grabbed this game by the scruff of the neck in the last 5 minutes. Every time he touches the ball, something happens. Mbai in open space.
Can you tell me if a try has been scored, please?
What a decision with 4 minutes on the clock.
The dramatic music adds to the occasion.
There he is, just breaking through. There's Martin Williams again. That's not the decision they're looking at. There's a pick-up and a burst. Is it Hughes?
Ian Goff gets his body in the way, but the ball is down.
By his backside, by Goff's backside. Can't see it from that angle. It's just in behind Goff, I'm sure of it. Not there, and it's an instantaneous movement. Can you just see it in there? Sure, I can see the point of the ball. If it's popping up from there, Jarvis thinks and knows.
Yes. Okay, just confirming a try has been scored.
Fiji have got the score.
Okay, sorry, I've lost you. Just confirming a try has been scored. Thank you.
Paulo Damasco's decision is that Fiji have got the touchdown, which gives them the lead again dramatically.
What a game! What a game! You thought they'd won it by 50. Wales come back, look all over them. They regrouped. Ungira came back from the sin bin. They found something. They dug deep, led by Delisau and Mbai. They've been all over the field. Wales had the game for the taking. They've made errors. They've invited them back in. Martin Williams with an interception. And then the ability to keep hold of the ball and turn it into a game of sevens in the last 4 minutes has found Wales wanting. Now this, we thought Jones's conversion was important. This would mean Wales would have to score a try to play South Africa.
Nicky Little with the responsibility. The short little run-up and stab kick again. Judges it superbly. What a wonderful effort by Nicky Little. And in this game of amazing twists and turns, the Fijians once again have taken the lead via the efforts from De La Salle. In the end, the forwards burrowing in there just managed to get hand on the ball. Is there yet another twist in this game? 2.5 minutes of rugby time to go.
Will they keep hold of the ball, one little ruck, followed by another little ruck, or will they just go straight back to Little? They're going to keep hold of the ball. They've got confidence in the ability to run down the clock and then go to Little late with a kick, giving Wales perhaps only one more opportunity.
Here it comes then to Nicky Little. Finds a safe touch, but it'll be a Welsh throw at the line-out.
Has to be straight, has to hit his man. What call do you go to? The back row head out into the midfield. You'd imagine Wales will go off the top. They've got to play. They don't feel they can maul it in from 40. They've got a big tempo and pace to it.
Alan Wynne-Jones, the target for the throw. Michael Owen completes the clearance. Into Jarvis in the middle of the field then. Wales must make progress, they must also maintain the possession. Owen to Gareth Thomas to Mark Jones. Cleverly steps in field.
There's a huge countdown clock going on. There it is, it hits the 79-minute mark. And it's a turnover. Oh, Norman Lingiri just doesn't know anything.
Just all his experience there, super. Now Fiji must maintain the possession. 40 seconds on the clock and counting down.
It's all over this, Bob. It is all over. The Wales fans sit in stunned silence. The locals, the neutrals, the Fijian army know what's about to happen. Fiji, quarter-finalists in the 2007 World Cup.
It has definitely been one of the great occasions in the history of Rugby World Cup.
Forget the Welsh defeat to Samoa in 91 and 99. This afternoon, instinctive Fijian genius, with power and dynamism up the middle, has consigned this 15 of Wales to the dustbin of history. The Grand Slam in 2005, this is not what they'll be remembered for. What an upset.
Hanley, Fiji take the ball, but there's a turnover. Is there one more chance? Phillips is prevented from digging it out, but can take it quickly. Lingeri's pressure, but he wasn't back 10 metres.
What have Fiji done? What have they done?
Have Fiji snatched defeat from the jaws of victory?
The clock was in the red. They had the ball, get it to the back, kick it off sideways. What did Bob Dwyer shout in 91? Kick it to the toilet.
Checking on the time left now as Nicky Little still suffers on the ground. Turnover of ball, giving Wales the opportunity then.
Nicky Little's got his ankle tucked in behind his knee. Oh, that's a horrible twist. You wouldn't want him to leave the field on a stretcher, having had such an impressive kicking performance.
Referee has been told that it's in his time, in the sense that the time is up. So
they can't go to the line-out.
Wales can't go to the line-out.
They will not make the mistake they made in Stadio Flaminio. It has been clear. There will be no line-out. Potentially a scrum to launch from, drag the Fijian forwards in tight. They're going to play the scrum by the words of Stuart Dickinson talking to Raoul Looney. It looks as though Wales want it. What's their move? Do they get Shane Williams involved?
Wales are given one more opportunity to rescue this game. For Nicky Little, it ends here, unfortunately. One of the heroes of this Fijian performance today, and that is so sad that Nicky Little has to leave the field on a stretcher.
Such an impressive performance. There's been so many flyers and so much bulk around him, and he's just stood in the 10 slot, pulled the strings, kicked his goals. Occasionally some pragmatism to the Fijian game this afternoon. A sad way to leave, but all eyes will be immediately back on this game. Wales have a chance, a game that they had lost and was over.
Phillips showing his strength. Now then, Wales must maintain the possession here. They have it. Stephen Jones, Rhys Thomas, Hook, Martin Williams. They're going across field for the moment. Now then, they're inching towards that touchline as well. They have to keep the ball in play.
Has he turned him over?
Is there another turnover?
That's it, it's all over. Wales have lost.
Fiji, the performance of their lives. The South Sea Islanders are through to the quarter-finals of the 2007 World Cup by knocking Wales out of the competition.
And it wasn't an accident. They were brilliant for 40. Wales came back. You thought the Fijians had nothing left. De La Salle led the counter-attack. They got hold of the ball. They believed in themselves. Total and utter rapturous joy and scenes and total dejection on Welsh faces. They cannot believe they are part of this. Fiji roll on. Sensational.
Welsh heads are in their hands. Final score, Wales 34, Fiji 38.
Thanks to Bob Simmons and to Will Greenwood. A fantastic piece of sporting theatre. You've got to feel sympathy for Wales. You've got to admire these guys from Fiji who go through to the quarterfinals. Wales go home. All the reaction coming right up.